A new revelation that I do have in Pokemon Go is that Pokemon Go is a little bit more geared towards newer players. So we're going to check out why Pokemon Go is not geared towards the legacy players that have been playing for quite a while, even some of us that have been playing since day one, but more geared towards the players that are new and the like in Pokemon Go. So welcome to the Trader Club. Here we go. Pokemon Go has been out since 2016, and while it has been a very fun ride, a lot of us out there, including many people that I know that have been playing for quite a while, have felt like the game has gotten quite stale. And while I try my best to give you guys strategies to get around that stale gameplay and to continue to enjoy this game, even if you have to take breaks on occasion, which is one of the things that I recommend quite frequently, that if you guys are feeling like this game has become too stale for you, is all I recommend doing is logging in, spinning a stop, catching a Pokemon, completing your daily interaction with the game, and then getting out. Don't even look at more than that if you really need a break to try to rejuvenate yourself, because there's nothing worse than trying to force yourself through situations when you feel like you've had burnout. And guys, just a reminder, I have a couple new merch items. I have the GoFest merch items, and I also have the Free the Remote Raid Pass shirt that's going to be in the shop, trainerclub.shop, or you can check the pinned comments below, and that will be available all the way until Tuesday night at midnight. So please make sure to get yours today if you want some, and I'm super excited to see you guys all at GoFest Madrid as well as GoFest New York. For myself personally, when I come back from some of these events, I feel quite burnt out because number one, of how long and all of the interactions that I've done throughout all the 3-4 days or whatever I'm doing during one of the GoFest events, and the spawns are amazing and the shiny rates are good, and then I come back into reality and I'm like, man, I just need a few days to detox this game and to be able to get it out of my system, and that's just what I do sometimes, right? Like, it has to happen in the progression of things. Similar to as pro sports players and things like that, after one of their major, maybe competitions, maybe the finals, the championship, whatever that is, oftentimes what do? They take a couple weeks off of that specific sport. Maybe they'll go to the gym and shoot a couple basketballs just to kind of keep their quick twitch muscle fibers active, similar to as I do recommend with Pokemon Go. But beyond that, you can just take yourself aback from those situations because you know that there's going to be more coming, right? And so if maybe I do announce something, let's say June, July, August, sometimes during these events, there is a little bit slower of a time. And if that matches up for you and you just feel like you're kind of burnt out, you don't want to play these events, don't play the events. Guys, remember, everything in Pokemon Go does come back around. The reason being is I just realized this today when filming the Landorus video is that they recycle so many Pokemon and there's not that much in the game that's geared around legacy players. What are the tactics in the game that are geared around legacy players? Well, level 50, but once you hit level 50, then what's the point in the game if you're strictly about trying to get to a specific level? Once you hit that level 50, you have 176 million XP, then what do you do? While Stardust is amazing, having plenty of Stardust is great to function in the game, it doesn't really give you that sense of encouragement or that sense of accomplishment when going further and further and further. And then also I did see Fleece King post that he's getting close to 3 billion XP, and I'm just like, holy goodness. Number one, that's a ton of XP. Number two, these are the types of games that players have to start playing with themselves when they become a little bit stagnant in what's going in the environment into the game, because there hasn't been too many new features. While yes, the fusion of the Necrozma is super cool, is that something that kind of drives a legacy player to be a super geeked about everything? Well, I mean, you're kind of doing the same thing. You're gonna have to raid for that Pokemon, try to get a good IV Necrozma, and then you're gonna fuse it, and after you fuse it, then you did that, and then what happens? You seemingly complete what has now been added into the game. And while yes, you can, fuse and unfuse and refuse and unfuse and raid and trade for those things, the main things that have been introduced into the game, which is like best friends, obviously that comes with lucky friends and lucky trades, trading. We have obviously shiny Pokemon that have been introduced to the game. We have raid bosses that have been introduced to the game. We also have PvP and GBL that have been introduced to the game. The system that needs to happen is something that re-engages the legacy players so that we can continue to play this game and feel like we have a sense of accomplishment besides just stacking up on XP, Stardust, and more. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but let me know in the comments below if you are feeling similar, if you are a long-term player, or if you're a new-term player and you're having a ton of fun. I love that for you, and you should definitely keep enjoying your time here. And here's the reason why the game is focused around new players and consistently satisfying the players that are coming in. Pokemon Go must know the lifespan of players, number one. Number two, they constantly recycle the same raid bosses over and over and over again, and that's just Pokemon in general, right? Like, if you you think about it, there's only so many legendary Pokemon. There's only so many shinies available. There's only so many of each and everything that's available. And they don't really have the flexibility to be able to add a ton of new things. The thing that they do have flexibility, or not total flexibility, but need approval of, but can do, is introduce new shiny costumes. Because there's been a ton of shiny Pokemon with costumes being introduced to the game. I mean, look how many Pikachu has, and how many more will come into the future. So that, if you are a shiny collector and you love these unique Pokemon, and you can't wait to get the new shiny, you know, Slackoth with a hat, and you need 3 of them, then you evolve them, you know, that is one specific way to play. But if you're not that specific player, then that system can not really be super relevant for you. So they're always recycling raid bosses. They're gonna continue to recycle similar typed events, right? So the events are gonna come back out, and then the shinies will come back out as well. That's why I always tell you guys, be patient in Pokemon Go. If you went really hard and you didn't happen to get a specific Pokemon, that's okay. Why? Because they're gonna recycle it. They're gonna be in Go Fest Global. They're gonna be at the Go Tour. They're gonna be in an event in the near future, right? So those Pokemon consistently come back out each and every time, which is another function, which is catching, spinning stops, gaining XP, gaining Stardust. And I would say that probably the most geared towards legacy players is PvP and GBL, if that is something that you're into, because you can constantly refine yourself and get to a new level, you know, learn a new tactic, get new Pokemon that are a little bit more relevant, and then having to power those guys up. So I think that GBL and PvP would be the most intriguing part for legacy players, and people that don't play that or don't enjoy that too much, which I think is a lot of the population in Pokemon Go, tends to feel a little bit of lack around this specific area. I know I do, specifically because, for instance, the Landorus in the Therian form, while I do actually like that Pokemon, I think it's cool looking, I like the shiny, I think it gets pretty good movesets with Earth Power. How many of these raids can I specifically do? Do I want to take a break of my daily life tasks and go towards more raid battles? Do I want to keep spending money on these specific raid battles? How many times can I raid the exact same Pokemon and still feel like I want to keep raiding that Pokemon? There are some Pokemon that I can do that. Mewtwo, Shadow Raikou, other Pokemon. But even with these Shadow raids, I'm still kind of feeling a little bit of fatigue right now, just based on not being able to do it as easily with people around me. And it takes a little bit more strategy to try to get some of these Shadow raids done. So what are some of my strategies besides taking a break from the game to keep you guys engaged? Well, number 2, try to find what you like. Is that going to be Stardust? Do you enjoy the buddy system? What part of Pokemon Go is easy for you, feels fluid, you enjoy it? Could be spinning Pokestops. Number 3, I would say to get yourself an auto catcher. I personally play quite a bit of Pokemon on my auto catcher because it's going to spin Pokestops, it's going to catch me Pokemon, and then I just have to manage that. I don't have to be so consumed in that, and I can do other things while my game is still producing for me. So the Pokemon Go Plus Plus, in specific, one of those that is modified that you can find on eBay, or you can even do it yourself, is a fantastic addition to your game, so you don't have to be constantly walking for hours trying to interact with the game. And you can even add new shinies, 100% IVs, and stuff like that, which aren't as common, but they're always a nice surprise. Which then leads me to what aspect of Pokemon Go would be good to add into the game. Well, I have constantly talked about this, and this will be a new integration to a lot of my recommendations for this game, and that's going to be something that allows you to be a controlled trainer in Pokemon Go, because nothing in the game allows you to train your Pokemon up. I really would love this. I think it would bless so many people into this game, and all of the legacy players would be able to continue to work towards leveling up their Pokemon, because if you've been playing this game for a while and you have been putting in blood, sweat, and tears, and you have been gaining, you know, tons of candy, XL candy, Stardust, and have best buddies, the integration of all that along with battling, maybe defending gyms, whatever that situation is, would allow you to interact with your game a little bit more, feel more connected with your Pokemon, and be able to continually level up your gameplay in Pokemon Go. So let me know what part of the game becomes a little bit of a struggle for you guys. Do you guys consistently get up and enjoy playing Pokemon Go? Are you a little bit more of a casual player, or are you a legacy player that needs to take breaks, or have you been a hard grinding legacy player since day one? Very curious to see what the population looks like in the comments below. Thank you guys for being here as always. Love and appreciate you guys. To all of my likers, commenters, subscribers, Patreon members, everybody takes your support, subscribe to the space to next level. I'm gonna see you guys out on the next video. Peace. I want to take this time to thank everybody who supports me in every facet. It means the world to me, and an extra special thank you to all my Patreons. I greatly appreciate the extra support to continue to allow me to pursue Pokemon Go full time, allowing me to create my daily video uploads in the most timely fashion for everyone's benefit. Plus, I get the amazing experience of sharing my creative processes behind the scenes and raiding all around the globe with select upper tiers. Thank you everybody for being a part of the Trainer Club. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys out on the next video.